Hey there, it's Emma the Creative Gem, and are you looking for an easy Valentine's Day gift idea that won't break the bank? Well, this Dollar Tree inspired gift idea will have you covered. This gift idea is perfect for a romantic setup like this, or a lollipop gift set like this, or as a small gesture that has a big surprise inside. I came across this creative craft by Flores on Instagram and knew I had to do it myself for Valentine's Day too. And hopefully by the end of this video, you can do the same for your loved one. Before we get creative, make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow all my other social medias. All right, let's get into it.
Hey, what are we doing today?
So today, or rather tonight, it's super late, but it's never too late to film content. So I saw this idea on Instagram and decided to do my own thing to it. As you can see, Rose Gold Fragrance Company and I, we collaborated. I created this beautiful gift set for him. We have Kiss Me Again, we have First Kiss, and also a roller ball.
A roll-on perfume.
Roll-on perfume, and then also little kisses inside. This makes a great gift, and it's super cute. I love it.
Oh, I love it too.
So this inspired gift idea is from crafty creator Flores. And if you want to see her video, click the link in the bio. But just to let you know, the video is super short. It's only like 15 seconds long. So I'm going to show you how I extend her tutorial and how I put my own spin on it. From what I got from that snippet, I used supplies that she mentioned in the video along with a few other things. Her complete list and mine will be listed in the bio below as well. This is the first time I'm doing this craft, so I'll explain what I did and how I did it, because in her video, she does it really quick, and I had to rewatch it like 20,000 times to make sure I understood what she was doing. But here is a breakdown. So the first thing I did, I pre-planned how I was going to decorate the gift sets to hold the perfume, body butters, and rollers. I played around with a few things until I was satisfied with the layout, colors, and textures. And I also wanted to make sure that there was a way to hold the thank you card with the gift box. The second step was to hot glue the foam insert into the middle of the bowl. And I made sure it was centered before pushing down. I'm sure you can use other glue for this, but I recommend the hot glue gun because it dries really quickly and you can pretty much move on to the next step like that. All right, once it's secured, the next step I'm going to be doing is taking out all the flowers off the stems of these fake flowers, and then I'm going to cut the stems. Now, you can cut the stems down to the same size if you want. You can have it different lengths. I try to keep them all the same, but to be honest, like in the video, she shows them like all the same size, but I feel like depending on the size of the flower, where you insert it in the foam, kind of depends on the length. So just have it long enough where you can cut it down to size for later. And just to let you know, I used wire cutters for this step. Here are my assorted roses taken off the stems. I want to use different colors to match the gifts that I was going to put inside of the tins. And also I noticed the bigger roses were better quality and they were more fuller. However, it was 3 roses per like stem and it was $125 instead of like 6 roses per stem, if that makes sense. So in other words, like the bouquets were bigger with the smaller roses. But they also came in like more colors. Alright, so for the next step, it is time to put the stems into the foam. Now, in the video, she made it look like the flowers were already on the stems and then she put it inside the foam. But for me, in order to do a proper decent looking floral arrangement, I found it easier to put the stems in there, kind of space them out somewhat evenly, not evenly, but somewhat evenly, or just at least fill in the gaps, and then put the flowers onto the stems. That seemed to work for me instead of just putting the flower on the stem. You know what I mean? Because I feel like by the time you do all that, it could come off maybe from you trying to rearrange like the flowers. So that was just like easier for me just to do that instead. This was definitely like a trial and error. I had to figure out how high to put the stems, how low, if they all should be aligned. Like it was a lot of like doing things repeatedly and trying different things. So depending on the size of the flower, the size of the stem, that kind of determines where you're gonna place it. And then I also noticed by the time I put the tin inside, like right here, I hot glued the tin to the foam, put it in the middle. By the time I did all that, I realized I still had some gaps, so I didn't feel like taking the stems out after I did all that. So what I did is I took some extra flowers, hot glued them to the gaps, like filled in the gaps a little bit to make it a little bit fuller, and it seemed to work out pretty well there. Next, I glued this paper dolly to the middle of the container because, to be honest, guys, I feel like the color of the container is like this brass color and it's a little dull for a 10. Like, you know, it's a basic 10. So I wanted to put this paper dolly in it because it's not Valentine's Day without a dolly, right? So I attached it with hot glue and centered it in the middle of the dolly. And you know what's in the middle of the 10? And you know what's funny? That the paper dollies are exact same size as the 10, like the smaller ones. So it fit like a glove. I think when you take the lid off the tin, it looks a little bit more decorative. And just in case you don't have the stuff that I'm going to decorate with, what I'm going to show you very shortly, this is just something that's at the Dollar Tree that you can use on hand. I'm also adding a little bit more detail. I'm using these glitter felt hearts or glitter hearts and just putting them inside the roses or just adding like a little bit of the jazz. I'm honestly eyeballing everything and I was just like, oh, this looks cute, and I just glued it on. So this gift idea is almost complete. I'm now adding some crinkled paper inside the tin. I'm also going to be adding my gift inside and along with some kisses as well. The crinkled paper is something that I had on hand, but you can also get some at the dollar store. You can use tinsel. You can use any type of stuffing you want to put inside the tin. Just make sure it's not too puffy or you don't put too much in it or don't overstuff it because you want to make sure that your tin lid is able to close. I also got some kisses from the Dollar Tree. I like adding candies in there because I have this perfume called First Kiss that I'm putting inside. And I think it'd be cute to add a little bit of kisses to it, right? Isn't that cute? Oh yes, a quick tip I would like to mention is when gluing your flowers to your tin, make sure you don't get any glue around the edges of where the tin lid is going to close, because what's going to happen is if you get a little bit of residue or if you glue the flowers a little bit too close, you won't be able to close your lid. So make sure if you're going to glue your flowers to the tin or glue your flowers to the bowl, that you do it away from the tin's edge where the lid is going to be. So to create that lollipop stick effect in Lou Flores' video, here's a snippet. She creates a hole in the bottom of the bowl, puts the plunger stick through the hole, and that's how you create the stick. Now, mind you, this is not an easy task. It's basically melting plastic. Now, the reason why I didn't mention this at the beginning of the tutorial like Lou does is because I feel like this is still a good craft to do with or without the lollipop stick. But if you want a challenge, like I like a challenge and wanted to try putting on a lollipop stick, this is how I did it. So I actually just took, this is like a melting tool. I don't even know what it's called, but it just melted the plastic. And this is my practice bowl, and I just made several holes throughout the plastic to try to see how to work the gun and see how it melted. And once I kind of figured it out, I played around with it for about 15 or 20 minutes. And once I kind of figured out how to melt the plastic, I used another one. I eyeballed it where I think it would be. I started with a small hole around the same size as the plunger stick, and then gradually made the hole bigger through the melting tool. Yes, this did take some time, and yes, it does take some patience. But once the hole was finally, and I mean finally, big enough, I took the plunger stick and screwed it through. If you did not find this part challenging, then you can actually do this part first and glue the stick to the bowl. If you're trying to make several of these, take the template that you have and put it on top of the other bowl. Then mark where the hole is, so that way you don't have to eyeball it every single time. Last but not least is the lollipop effect. So what I did was I took one of the basket bags from the Dollar Tree and I put it inside and then tied it with a ribbon. So it pretty much looks exactly the same as hers. What I should do is trim it down a little bit, which you can do as well. You can trim down the basket a little bit to make it look more like a lollipop. But yeah, this is how it turned out. And everything was from what? The Dollar Tree. Hey, babe. You guys, this turned out so good. Look how cute this looks. Oh my gosh, I'm in love. And the thing is, the creativity is endless. And this is all from the Dollar Tree. This was about, what, $12? Less than that? And that means like everything. Like the flowers, the bowl, the plant, like everything. This is less than $10. And not bad for a nice romantic night out or a nice romantic gift. Alright, EmGems, that concludes my tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys also try it because honestly, it was a lot of fun despite the plastic part. If you enjoy content like this and you like what you see, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification on the bottom to be notified when new content comes out. Alright, see you later. Bye.